Good day, we're back with Rory Cowan's Q&A.
How are you?
How are you doing?
Yeah, right, Avri.
So, what was your interest in sports in school?
Me? I never played sports in my life. Oh no. As a matter of fact, if ever I want to cheer myself up, I just sort of remind myself that once every 7 minutes someone in an aerobics class pulls a hamstring. That cheers me up. Sports I never did. When I lived in Limerick, I went to the Jesuit school. It was the Crescent Comprehensive in Duradoyle. And the Jesuits in Limerick, rugby was what they were. It was just, everything was rugby. And they were really, a load of the rugby players from Munster and stuff like that came through the Jesuits and whatever. So I wouldn't play. Every Wednesday afternoon we had to go out and play rugby, and I wouldn't play. And it was like compulsory. It was like Irish, English and maths at the time. And if you were in the Jesuits, you had to play rugby. So I went home. My mother said you have to play, but eventually I convinced her I had no interest in playing rugby. I mean, look at me. Do I look like a rugby player? Do I look like I'd have any interest in playing rugby? Anyway, she went down and she said to the teacher, the head brother, she said, he won't play, he's not interested in playing. And she convinced him, and he said, well, if he takes up a musical instrument, we might be able to excuse him for Wednesday afternoons rugby playing. And my mother said, okay. So she said to me, right, Rory, what do you want to play? And I said, guitar, play guitar. So they went out and they got me a guitar, and I thought, I'm going to be like Mark Bolan, I'm going to be like Jimi Hendrix. One lesson I'd be flying. So we went down to do the lesson, and the guy was showing me a few chords, and he was sounding dring, dring, and he says, now we sing along. And he started going, Michael rowed the boat. And I went, what? I'm coming to learn how to play Michael rowed the boat ashore. So I was coming home, and the guitar went into the Shannon over the bridge there, the main bridge in Limerick, and I never went back for another guitar lesson. And I never played rugby, but they all thought that every Wednesday afternoon I lived in Limerick, I was off from school because they wouldn't do it. Another time, now it's sport, I'm sorry for dragging this on a bit, but my father, when we were living in Athlone, that was on the Shannon as well, and he got fishing rods, and he said, come on, we'll go out fishing. So I've gone along with my fishing rod, 10 years of age, 11 years of age, and we got to a spot, and there was another man fishing, and he took out, he caught a fish while we were getting all their stuff ready. And when the fish came out, I was looking at him, and he took the hook off, and then he caught the fish, and he whacked its head on a stone. And I don't think I have ever seen anything so vulgar in all my life. I nearly threw up. So I just dropped the fishing rod and I ran. And my father called me back, and I wouldn't go back. So he just thought, how he never knew I was gay, I don't know. But any effort I ever made at sport, I just never played it. I was never a sporty person. I was never interested in them. I mean, even football, the only footballers I could tell you that I would recognise out of a lineup that I would recognise would be George Best, David Beckham and Rory Cowan. Outside of that, I wouldn't have a clue who they are. No interest in football at all, no interest in sports.
So you're more interested in going to play a bit of rock and roll?
Ah, there you go, David
See,
Bowie.
you bought a few albums.
Look what came out on vinyl. I only got them yesterday. David Bowie. I got these albums when they came out first. They were about £3, now they're €19. But those ones are out on vinyl. Brilliant albums, bring me back to my childhood. But
Lovely.
Anyway, there you go.
Thanks,
Thank you very
Rory.
much.
So I'm Avri Citron, and this is the Rory Cowan Q&A. Goodbye.
Bye bye.